Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Style YouTube channel, where today we're going to remember Ken the Guru Blackman. Ken was very instrumental in our aviation history. He helped form the American Yankee Association. Here he is with Daiso and Otto, Bev Hansen, and a few others. He showed up at conventions with Dicey back in 1993. You could find Ken just about anywhere at an auction site when AGAC folded in 1994. Here he is with David Fletcher, John Maestre, myself, Neil Rice. He shows up at fly-ins. Here he is with Jimmy at the Bowling Green. His clan, Grant, Tamara, Trinity the baby, and Jan. He traveled a lot with Grant to fly-ins. Here they are pictured in 2003 at St. Islands. He was stylized in many photos, always working on airplanes. And here's what kind of gave us the idea. Here's Ken working on an airplane, a Grumman. He loved working on airplanes. He loved talking about airplanes, and he was good at giving seminars and showing you what was good, what was bad, what to do, what not to do. And when Ken talked, it always drew a crowd. And they would talk about that in aviation. He would answer any questions, and then we'd move on to something else. And then we started having the wrench bendings, and the line of airplanes would just line up for people coming for service. We had one in Maui a couple of years ago, very popular. We pulled in people from the islands. But when wrench bendings are around and Ken talks airplanes and has an airplane part near him, I guarantee you that people are going to form a circle and listen. And a lot of times he's queued up under an airplane doing work, showing us how the work is actually done, and then at other times he's instructing. And here he is showing, doing the final body work on this airplane during a wrench bend that came in with a dent in the AGAC wing, and finishing it all out. Now he's going to talk a little bit about struts right here to the wrench bending. Now Ken did like food. And when there was food available, he liked pushing airplanes around. He was full of energy and a good role model to the folks who came out and saw him work and listened to what he had to say. And he was very good at showing you why things were like they were, how they worked, and how they needed to be. And it was sort of the inspiration for these YouTube videos a few years back. Again, Ken with a burger. Not surprising. Ken liked to work. Ken liked to eat. Ken liked to play music. Very interesting fellow. He's missed greatly. He liked explaining why things were bad, looking at things and pointing them out. And he was free with his time. But you just didn't find him around airports. You found him in Cody at a fly-in, a wedding for Luann and I, sitting out under the shade, just having a good time and imparting things to folks. In Bowling Green, here he is on a tour of the Corsair distillery where they produce liquors. Very interesting to hear some of Ken's early stories from his early years. A good person to have on a tour, a good friend and fellow. A lot of fun to have. And Ken liked having a good time and looking at things. Here he is doing old cars in Snohomish. And that old car picture was a little longer than I thought, sorry. Ken liked climbing an airplane. Here's a Waco being flown by Fred Hogan. We stylized that. It shows up in the banner on the GPA. Ken and I practicing a rodeo tie-down event where you put a car, not an airplane, on tie-down. Just some of the fun we had over the years. Coming up with a new event. As you can see, Ken was having a good time when he was doing this. Ken was a good friend to have. I met Ken in '92 and we started doing formation flying, and Ken and I flew a lot of tight formation, taking pictures of folks' airplanes. Of course, Ken was becoming the guru, starting to have a picture online when he could respond to people. Again, as part of the GPA, we tried several photos, this one taken in the shop when I was up there working with him a few years ago. All around good guy, mechanically sound, great mechanic. All right, a little bit of attitude, but that makes him nice. And here he is on a tour in Maui back in 2018. Here's Jan giving his memorial. We had this last June at Butler County. It was a nice memorial, well attended. We hope you found this informative and useful.